Hi, this is Hannah, the intern shoe princess for Princess Chic Shoes, and I'm interviewing Tanya Williams, who is the Chic Executive Officer. So Tanya, where did the idea for Princess Chic come from?
About 3 or 4 years ago, I went on a trip to the United States and found all these fabulous shoes. And when I came back, all of my friends and co-workers were commenting on these gorgeous shoes, and I was like, there may be a little bit of a market for this. So I decided to do some research and pull together a website that's something a little bit different and that's empowering to women as well. So it all started with a little shopping trip to the US.
So then what's your background?
My background is actually in marketing and media sales. So I started my career when I was about 15 in retail while I was still at school, and then moved from there into marketing, and then from there into media and sales. So I've done a lot of work in radio, outdoor and online as well.
So what's your first shoe memory?
I can remember I had this gorgeous pair of black black patent leather kitten toe heels with this gorgeous big bow on the front of them. I was about 17 or 18 at the time, and I just loved them, and I wore them everywhere, and I wore them to death. And every time I slipped them on, I just felt so special. So they were the first pair that I fell in love with, that I just adored and wore them to death.
So now, what are your favourite shoes and why?
I've got too many to probably pick one favourite, but certainly one would be my silver Manolos that I bought on that same trip to the US. And my husband nearly had a heart attack when I told him how much they cost. And yeah, so they would probably be my absolute favourite because they're covered in Swarovski crystals and they're just absolutely gorgeous, and they never go out of date because they're timeless. So they're probably my favourite.
So how many pairs of shoes do you have in your closet now?
You don't get that answer out of me without a couple of cocktails. And my husband is never to see this video. I've actually lost count. I think I stopped counting at about 100. And I've got many, many pairs since then. So I couldn't honestly tell you how many pair I do have in the wardrobe, but let's just say it's a lot.
So what are the future plans for Princess Chic?
Lots of future plans. We really want to develop our custom-made shoes, which is something that's a bit of a point of difference for Princess Chic. And so we're looking at trialling a few new things like our pre-love shoes and maybe some new services like lay-by and shoe sourcing and a few other sort of things. So we're just going to see how it goes and just take it step by step and maybe introduce a few new things along the way.
Sounds good. What's your favourite thing about running Princess Chic?
Oh, there are so many. I love what I do. I love shoes. I love knowing that I bring joy to people's lives through shoes. It's really nice to get an email from a customer who says how much they love their shoes, and then they love their hot pink shoe box and their little tiara, and it really puts a smile on my face and makes my day. So it's just nice to know that you can make someone feel like a princess, even if it's just for a little part of the day.
So what's the main point of difference then for Princess Chic shoes compared to other websites?
There's a few things that make us a little bit different. One, that all of our shoes come with a little shoe story, and the shoe stories are designed to be empowering towards women and make them feel good about themselves. But we can make odd size shoes for people, so anything from like a 4 to a size 12, which are very hard to get at times. We get lots of inquiries for those. And also our custom made service is something that is unique. So knowing that you can choose the style and the material and the size and the colour that you want, and they can get made and delivered to your door in 4 weeks is something that's a nice point of difference.
So does that mean that you can also have shoes that have a lower heel height?
It does. That's the great thing about it. We get lots of women that love their heels, but for work they prefer something a little bit lower, so they can get a 2 or 3 inch heel in a classic stiletto or a peep toe if they like, and in the colour and material that they like. So it is very hard to find ready-made shoes with a lower height, and we do try to find them and put them on the site for our customers, but if not, they can design their own.
So sometimes we find the shoe quality can be different. Why does that happen?
We use lots of different suppliers for the shoes on the Princess Chic site, and obviously different suppliers. Sometimes the quality isn't quite up to scratch. So if we find a shoe or a supplier or a design that isn't up to scratch, we stop stocking them. So we like to bring our princesses quality shoes at an affordable price.
Great. So how are these custom shoes actually made?
They're actually handmade. We have a couple of manufacturers that we're using overseas, and they handmade the shoe. So it goes through the entire process from creating the mold to the last, obviously attaching the leathers and the heels and so forth, and then they get quality controlled by our suppliers and then sent to us to send on to our happy customers.
So does that mean that you can copy other styles that customers have seen?
Sometimes we can. We often get people sending us photos of shoes that they want made, and sometimes we can do that. And sometimes we're not able to, but we'll always ask our manufacturers if we can. So if there's someone wanting to do that, please just email us and ask us the question, because you never know, we might just be able to.
And I see here you actually have a shoe blog. I didn't know you had that. Where would you find that?
That's on our site. So on the Princess Chic website, across the little tabs across the top of the website is our shoe blog, and we try to update that every day or every couple of days with fun little stories about shoes and shoe designs and trends and all sorts of stuff. So it's a fun and interesting read for anyone who loves shoes.
And what does it mean when you say shoes are special order?
When a shoe is listed on our site as special order, that means that we don't actually order the shoe until the customer orders it. So we actually order one-off designs for them. It just allows us to be able to bring them lots of different styles, because imagine, a house filled with shoes. It's very hard to stock them all. So it just allows us to give you a lot more variety. So when it's special order, it just means it just takes a couple of weeks rather than a couple of days to get your shoes sent to you.
Okay. And sometimes a customer might see a pair of shoes that were on the site last week, but they don't seem to be available anymore. Why is that?
We get this quite often. It's because they're sold out. So we'll get people that look on the site and go, oh, I love those shoes, and then they don't buy them and they leave them for a week or so, and then they find that the shoes are gone when they come back. So some of the styles, obviously some styles are more popular than others, but the more popular ones in particular go very quickly. So if you see it, buy it is my suggestion, because sometimes we can source them from other suppliers, but a lot of the time we can't. So so we get disappointed princesses, and we don't like to get anyone disappointed.
So the moral is order straight away.
That's right.
So what about new services that are coming up?
We're wanting to keep the site fresh, and we're wanting to give our customers new services and new ranges and new styles that is something that is unique to Princess Chic. So we're always looking for new things. We're looking at trialing a couple of services in the near future. One will be our shoe lay-by. Because we often find that people might not have the money that day when they see their shoe, but they might want to lay by it and they can pay it off. Another one is our pre-love shoes. So we're looking at having a select range of pre-love shoes and selling them very cheaply, because I know myself, I have many pair of shoes that I've only worn once and there's nothing wrong with them, so they could go to a new home. And we're going to make sure that all our shoes have fabric protection on them, so all of our silk and our suede shoes will have that as well. So there's always new things happening, so make sure you subscribe to our newsletters and you'll get all the updates.
Okay, one last question. Finish this line. I am a shoe princess because...
Shoes are my religion.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.